In today's video, we're going to show you how to install a new snubber on your washer. So first thing we want to do when we go to install a new snubber is clean up any debris from the old one. There's always a bit of residue that's left from it, and that's part of the reason why you're having to change it, because it loses some of the rubber contact that it makes between the base and the washer superstructure. So we're just going to clean that. You can use a cleaning solution and a rag, but you'll often find that the easiest way is just to use a wire brush or a wire wheel, because it's on there pretty well. It's worn right into the metal. So just with a cordless drill and a wire brush, just clean it right up. So the reason we're doing this is to get this nice and clean and smooth. If we don't remove that rough debris, when you put your new snubber in, it's just going to wear it out prematurely. So it's a big enough job as it is, so you certainly don't want to be doing it any sooner than you have to. So now that we got the base done, we're going to do the same thing on the underside of the superstructure. So now we got this half all cleaned off, just give it a wipe again just to remove that debris. So now we're ready just to set our new snubber in place. Now that we have everything cleaned up and the snubber in place, I'm just going to take the superstructure, lift it up, set it into place, and then we'll start hooking up our springs and put the rest of the machine together. So to help align this, when I go to install the superstructure, I'm going to just want to take an eye as to where my drain hose is and where it would go onto the pump, and that'll help line me up so that I have it in pretty close to the right location. So now we're just going to start to hook up our springs. We'll start with our small ones. So there's two more to do. We'll do those. So now I just have one more small one to do on the other side. So that's all our small springs. So we'll just do our large ones now. So we'll just insert the top of our spring into the frame. And you can see there's several notches in the base that these springs will mount into. Now when I took it apart originally, I had marked that so I would know which one it went into. You probably, as well as you took yours apart, may note as to which one. If not, you may have even taken a picture of it so you knew which one it would go into. You just pull it forward, hook it in, and then move on to your next spring. Same thing again, just insert the long end into the frame, pull your washer down, and hook that spring in. And just one left on this side. Hook that into the superstructure. Lower it down. And there we go. And that's your suspension system for your washer. So with that done now, the next thing we'll do is we'll hook up the hose for our pump. So we're just going to slide our hose from the tub to the pump. Move our clamp into place. So now we'll bring our cabinet back into place. So one of the first things we may as well do is we'll get our drain hose hooked back up. There is a retainer here in the cabinet. So I'm just going to open that up, flip it around the drain hose, and then just slip my drain hose onto the pump. And then bring my clamp up, get it into position, and take my pliers and put it in its final spot. So now that we have the drain hose back onto the pump and the clamp in place, I'm going to just finish getting that cabinet settled in and put the screws back in all the way around so that's secure to the base. So I'm just going to start the front corner. I'm going to start these screws. I'm not going to put them tight yet until I get them all in place, because you have to jiggle the cabinet around a little bit to get it aligned. So So I'll go over to my next one, which would be my other front corner, and get the screw in that one. So now that all our screws are tight on our cabinet, we'll hook up our electrical harnesses next. The first harness we're going to connect is the one for our pump. So we just slide our connector into place. I'll just pop the cover back on. This little locking pin keeps our harness out of the way from getting jammed up. Just gets pushed back into the frame. The one for our motor just gets pushed on to the motor connector. And our plastic cover that holds our capacitor just goes back up into place. So the next thing we want to do is hook up the most important hose in your washer. No, it doesn't carry water, it carries air. It carries air pressure from the tub up to your pressure switch. Tells the machine when it's full. If this doesn't work right, your washer overflows and you get a flood. So really important you get this hose back in place. Just goes onto the nozzle tip on the side of the tub and then just gets hooked into this retainer up in your tub ring. So just want to make sure you get that in place. And it's just a friction fit. There's no clamp on it. You would think there would be with a hose that's that important, but they've used friction fit forever and they still do today. So just clip that into the tub ring. That gives it some strain relief while it's bouncing around so that it doesn't get pulled out. So now we can lower our top. And we can put our front back on. So on the front panel, it has these little fingers that are going to lock into these notches in your cabinet. So we're just going to move our front into place, insert those tabs into those notches on both sides. And once that's moved up into place, we're going to take our Phillips screws, put them into the holes and screw them into place, and that holds the front on. Now with the front back in place, put it on good and tight. Just lower our top, give it a push downward, and those two locks grab a hold. Your washer's all back together. You're now ready to set it into place. Get it level on your floor, hook up your hoses, plug it in, and you're ready to go.